Hello guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about Fate, Remnant Collide. So yeah, let's begin, shall we, ladies and gents? So, we would go to the perspective of Sun, or in this case, Sun Wukong, as she would be with both Blake and that of Tina, as they finally made it to Menagerie. The main, I guess you could say, city for Faunus. As you'd say, so, this is your old home? I should say, specifically that of Blake. Yeah. I wonder what happened here, she would say. As she would look around and see a few people going around. More specifically, those of that are medics, and those that are seem to be huntsmen. Some of them are currently treating wounds, and some of them also seem to be members of White Fang. Or at least, sort of. Instead of the typical White Fang uniform, their uniforms are actually quite white, and rarely have any other colors besides that. And some of them not even wearing masks anymore, as she would walk up to them after they land. As Blake would say, as Blake would ask one of the residents there, "Hey, mind telling me what is happening?" As she would say, specifically that of some sort of rabbit faunus with a rabbit-like tail would say, "Oh, it's a coup d'etat." After hearing that, she would say, "A coup d'etat? What happened?" As she would say, "Well, apparently one White Fang faction, or in this case the Radical faction, decided to take over. Well, it did fail, but at the same time leading some of us getting hurt. God. And they're now being led by that bastard Adam." As one of them would ask, "Yeah, from what I know, apparently he's gone mad. Apparently gotten some new powers as well. It's definitely not a semblance. And from what I heard, his ability allows him to uh, essentially gain more strength depending on how many allies that he has. Or at least that's what I've been told." As she would walk up towards one of the White Fang members, or at least supposed White Fang members, I should say, "Mind telling me what is going on? Where's Shienna?" As the White Fang member, looking confused, and would say, "Oh, she's currently busy with work. And unfortunately, she will be busy." "Wait, are you Blake Belladonna? What are you doing here? I thought you," as she would say, "Oh, sorry, but I, I just came back," so, as you'd say, "Oh, I see. Then if you're wondering, then no, we're not called the White Fang anymore. We're just called, well, just Neo White Fang. And as for what happened, honestly, from what I heard, it was not really pretty. You should probably get going yourself. Your parents are probably worried." As you'd say, "What about my parents?" As she would be worried a tiny bit. As she'd say, "Well, from what we heard, apparently one of the White Fang members, in this case the Radical faction, tried to kill your dad. Thankfully they were stopped." As she would say, "Stopped by who?" As she would say, "Some faunus. Well, from what I can tell. But it's still weird that he seems to have two faunus traits, in fact." As she'd say, "Two faunus traits? If that's the case, where's he? I meant she." As she would say, "From what I know, they're currently in the Belladonna residence. You can go now. I'm quite busy getting medical supplies." As before they can continue, another White Fang member, or Neo White Fang member, would say, "Oi, bring back some of the supplies already. We have a lot of casualties over here." As he would say, "Oh, sorry, I should be going now." As he would grab onto some crates and would start bringing it towards the White Fang operative. or at least Neo White Fang's operative. As before she can say anything else, in this case, Tina would say, "So that's what happened. Wow, I can't believe that the White Fang would ever fracture, considering that your goals were supposed to be for all bonus rights. Not this chaos," she would say, as Blake would look at the nearby buildings that were destroyed somewhat. I should say, "Yeah, what happened to you, Adam?" As she would be pissed off. As she would say, "Let's just go to my house. I really worry for my parents." As after saying that, they would start moving through the village. As you would see several Neo White Fang members helping out some of the civilians. But they would also see some damage. More specifically, from buildings to wall, and also some structures. As when they finally arrived, they would see her. As we would see Ilya. As when she saw Blake, she would say, "Wait, Blake? What are you doing here?" she would say. As she would say, well, I was worried about my parents, so... And what are you doing here?" As she would say, "Well, I sort of defected. In this case, I decided to stay with the White Fang. Or at least, the non-radical side. It's still weird that that happened." As she would say, "No kidding." As she would look towards beside her and would see both Sun and also that of Tina. As she would say, "Who are they?" As she would say, "Oh, those are just some friends of mine. And you know what happened exactly before we asked before she can?" Beside her, they would see some sort of weird faunus. Or at least, that's what they think. As we would see some sort of woman with what seems to be lion ears and a lion tail. As she would say, "Master, we've recently gone to..." As she would look and would see the two other people there. I meant three. As she would say, "Oh, nice to meet you. You may just call me Archer for now." As after saying that, she would say, "Wait, Archer?" As Blake would realize, this must be a servant. Wait, if that's the case, then she must be a part of the Holy Grail War. Or at least that's what she heard from RWBY. Or at least somewhat. As before she can say anything else, she would look towards her master, aka Ilya. I meant Ilya. As she would say, "Master, we've recently got some reports. Or in this case, we saw a few casualties." As she would say, "Wait, really? What happened?" As she would say, "A few people, specifically children, have been hurt, and their parents are gone. I've been currently well, taking care of them while their parents are, well..." As she would say, "I see. Then please keep doing that, Atalanta. I meant Archer." As she would say, "Very well then, Master." As she would leave, as she would jump roof to roof, as she would say, "Who was that?" As Blake would just say it in a confused manner. As she would say, "Well, from what I heard, or at least that's what I've been told by Shiena, they're called servants. They sort of help us. Especially after that event." As she would say, "I see. What about my parents? Are they okay?" As she would say, "They're fine. Your dad is fine. Your mother is also fine as well. Oh, you must be really worried about them. Here, you can go now. I have to go to work. See ya, Blake." As after saying that, she would leave. As after she left, Sun would ask, "So, is that your friend?" She would say, "Yeah, My friend back in White Fang. God, still can't believe what happened. I'm certainly still pissed about him. As she would say, don't worry about it. Besides, you've got us, said Tina. As after saying that, she would say, you're right. Then let's get inside. As after they opened the door, they would see, as we would currently see, Gira and Kali, the parents of Blake. As Kali would say, oh, hello there, dear, she would say. It really has been a while. You certainly caught us worried. As Gira would say, yes. After hearing about the fall of Beacon, it certainly scared us to the core. As she would say, yeah, I know. So, what happened here? And what exactly happened to you guys? As he would say, oh, about me, said Gira, as he would look towards the other members. Or in this case, some White Fang that were currently stationed near their house. As he would say, I'm currently leading back the White Fang. Or at least the Neo White Fang. But at the same time, I'm letting Shiana do most of the work as my lieutenant again. I should say, oh, really? And what about you, Mom? As she would say, oh, me, I'm doing mostly the relief work. Ever since this whole thing happened, I'm starting to feel even more worried about my daughter here. As she would look towards Blake, as she would say, I'm worried for you, and especially with everything, and from what Shiana told us. As she would say, what Shiana told you? As she would say, yes. As she would sit down near the couch, with Gira right beside her. As Blake and both Tina and Sun would say in the opposite side of the chair, right on the couch. As she would say, well, from what we were been told by Shiana, she's apparently a part of a war. The Holy Grail War, that's what they called it. Apparently, this Holy Grail War thing is about something called the Holy Grail, and if anybody were to win this war, it means they'll get their wishes granted. Though, from what I heard, her servant Berserker is more interested in getting the wish, actually. And from what I heard as well, she plans to use it to save Fauna's kind. Though I feel worried. Especially since, from what I heard from Berserker or whatever her name is, apparently the war is gonna cost us a lot. As Blake would hear this, she would say, I also heard from a friend of mine. As she would say, a friend of yours? As she would say, yes. He has a semblance similar to those of, well, the Holy Grail War itself. It allows it to summon servants. We kind of found that out just a few days ago, or at least a few months ago. As she would say, I see. Then I'm wondering if that friend can help us. As she would say, honestly, I'm not exactly sure. He was a part of the fight at Beacon, and he's quite injured, so I'm not really sure if he's okay. I should say, I see. Then, for now, let's just get some rest. You seem to be quite tired after your travels, dear, she would say. I should say, Mom, I'm fine, and I should say, oh, nonsense. Besides, your friends over there are quite tired as well. I've been making some dinner, so don't worry about it. As Gear would say, yes, your friends are quite welcome in eating. Come on, come on. As after saying that, they would start leaving towards the dinner table. As we would leave this episode right off here, guys. So yeah, bye-bye!